Another one bites the dust. Goodbye, HiAnime. If you don't know this site, well, it's one of those, websites where you watch your animes. Maybe better experience than Crunchyroll. And of course, I have something to say about this. HiAnime? More like buy anime. I had to, bro. I just had to fucking say it. It was the perfect joke. It was begging for that joke. But as you know, right, as one goes down, the head of the Hydra will simply just duplicate, and another site will show up to replace itself. But there might be extra context as to why this may not be the case. So a lot of people just, shut the fuck up, dumbass! I understand that, like, okay, people who basically say their favorite websites out and just like leak that shit is stupid. I think it's also kind of ridiculous to assume that like big companies that want to take down these pirate sites don't even realize that they exist and they could only find it out through a random Twitter account. Is that logic is ridiculous. But at the same time, I think that there still needs to be a culture that like has people be a little bit more fucking discreet about it. Too many of the new generation of the kids pulling up are just so ignorant and stupid to the ways of piracy, and they just like leak that shit immediately. Like, please, bro, just shut the fuck up. God damn, bro. Look, we will be okay. They're working on it. There's some extra updates though, right? Hi, we know many of you notice HiAnime has been banned and we understand the concern. Please don't spam our DMs asking what happened when we're coming back. Our team is aware and looking for solutions. Please be patient with this. When I went to HiAnime, the website, right? When I click onto it, it is still down as of now. It's time to say goodbye and thank you for a wonderful journey with great moments. But there's actually a lot of extra context of what is happening. So first up, obviously there's a community guideline note that I want to check it out. But there's also, where is this tweet? Someone had a very good summary of what might be actually going down in right over here, right? So Miles, I don't know where this guy is coming up, but he's the anime stats guy, right? HiAnime is dead, so there's some few important context to remember. It was the biggest bootleg anime platform in the United States, accounting for 15% of all anime piracy with 4 million US monthly users per white box analysis. Really impressive numbers. I wonder how that actually compares to Crunchyroll's numbers. It was for a for-profit outlet. Hell yeah, they made their money. That was its purpose, and it made the people running it a lot of money. It was not helpful for media preservation. Many sites accessing unlicensed, unavailable anime as a key benefit, but that represented less than 1% of the US viewership per white box. The most popular titles on HiAnime were broadly the most available. Of course, it's the fucking Gunball gamers, bro. It's the Unga Boonga Battle Shonen retards. That's what they're just gonna watch. They're not gonna watch the random niche, stuff that, account for less than 1% of viewership. That said, a slight majority of people who use HiAnime also use legit outlets for anime as well, which show that many people use it to fill gaps or because they didn't know where to watch a certain series. You'd be surprised again how many people would pay money for an actual service that will present the full catalog. If they can't find the anime in their Netflix or Crunchyroll, whatever, in a website that they're used to, of course they're gonna seek out other, resources. And that's why time to time, piracy is what? A service issue. You provide people a great service and there's no pain points, they're gonna stick around and be loyal customers. Most of the subtitles, 90%, were not fan subs, but rips off the official subtitles. When it was a fan sub, they were ripped from the fan sub group and monetized, which isn't really any better in my opinion. The Hydra head is real, and there is plenty of other outlets for piracy. Countless others, bro. That said, whenever the top pirate site goes down, some percent switch to legal services, which goes back to fund the industry. Most anime revenue comes from overseas these days, and streaming revenue is the biggest driver of overseas revenue, which every view counts. No one is wrong or bad or anything or for having used to these kinds of sites, particularly if they have no other means to do so. However, if you have no other option, I strongly encourage you to seek out venues that don't directly finance the people exploiting anime against the wishes of the creators. Even with Adblock, you're providing economic incentives for bootleggers by using these sites. I recommend learning about torrenting instead. This is a very interesting conclusion because this guy's basically saying that like there's a lot of these offshore sites that are profiting and is not directly helping the industry, but like if you torrent, like his issue isn't the fact that you're not watching from legal sites. It's that like your metrics and engagements and numbers are actually going to these piracy websites, so that torrenting is actually a better avenue. That's a very enlightened pirating point of view. At the same time, right, I think that, again, Crunchyroll, like I hear that a lot of the important viewerships, right? A lot of people say that like viewership doesn't matter. All that matters is domestic Japanese, engagement. If they buy merch sales, DVD, Blu-ray. Apparently that shit's also kind of going out of meta, and a lot of the focus right now is on streaming services, and also why movies are getting more and more popular, because obviously movie box tickets, right? The meta's changing. It's a better schedule to make movies. It's cheaper to make movies. It's easier to have higher quality movies compared to one core, two core, multiple anime series, airing at the same time. And internationally, they say that the metrics don't really matter, but I hear that a lot of the viewership internationally, online streaming sites are like the biggest driver to see if this is going to impact like the success of the series and if it's going to get greenlit for future projects. Again, I don't know how significant this is, but I hear the talking points of people saying it. At the end of the day, HiAnime was probably making a lot of money with it, and it says, hey, I don't really blame them for providing a service. If they provided a better service for the users than Crunchyroll and Netflix, and they prioritize off of that, get your bag, bro. Get your hustle. I have no just like, hey, shame on you, you're stealing. It's just like, that's the game, I guess. Japan's anime home video market keeps shrinking. So revenues from anime home video sales and rentals in Japan all released formats 2001 to 2025. And you can see consumer home video sales and consumer home video rentals in the different blues, and how, oh my God, bro, consumer home video sales has definitely gone down way, way, way. It's kind of crazy that video rentals are still a thing, but it kind of shows you, right? Like, this is kind of like how Blockbuster died off and why Netflix became so big. Like, people ain't buying, like DVDs and Blu-rays and shit like that. Anime is just an ad for the source material. Not really. The anime industry is 2 to 3x size of the manga industry. I have an easier time arguing the opposite, honestly. There's time when the publisher's intentions for sure, but there are just one member of an anime production committee comprised of blah, 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 blah. Is kind of talking about like the overall thing. I pirate and buy merch. This is a very interesting one that a lot of people use to kind of justify their guilt of pirating, right? This is kind of like a rich get richer situation, because people who say this never do it for everything they watch. So anything that not their favorite gets $0 from them. Whereas watching on legal outlets at least provides something to the committee, the production committee. People who use bootleg platforms are also understandably more likely to buy bootleg unofficial goods, which doesn't support the anime either. And then the next one is the Blu-ray DVD stuff, right? I have a hard time saying anything negative about this except to point out that you are the outlier of all the outliers. Japanese home video sales have fallen off of a cliff during the exact period the overseas anime audience grew 3x. See the below chart. So this guy's kind of bringing in more stats to kind of like add on to his opinion that like, okay, you pirate, but you buy the merch or DVD, you are a very insignificant crowd of people. And the production committee, right, they're really looking at the metrics, the viewership. I think that the production committee should not be stupid and ridiculous and be limited, and understand that there's a way to understand viewership and metrics beyond their legal platforms, and looking at, illegal sites. Like, listen, if random Twitter accounts, if we can get access to, these results to see how much the clicks are happening internationally off of piracy, they should also be using that to kind of supplement their data-driven metric to see, okay, are we going to greenlit this project or not? Anyways, some extra context of what's going on with HiAnime and just their kind of background. Now, if you look at the actual community note, right? HiAnime staff clarified via Discord that the goodbye messages is due to a website issue, not a shutdown. And there's some extra stuff, right? This is the MyAnimeList forum talking about it. HiAnime is dead. It's time to say goodbye, and thank you for a wonderful journey with great moments. And then the one bites the dust, and extra news here that the website's here. To make this a general discussion, what are your thoughts, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. A lot of people are saying that like, hey, we're gone. But a lot of people are saying, hey, it's actually not gone. And if you look at this, right? Piracy, this is just kind of like an extra site that's just saying, hey, it's gone. Fear, uncertainty, unknown. While the goodbye messages seems crystal clear, the site's official Discord server and Reddit community don't appear convinced. Is this a bluff, or are they just pretending? While it is unclear whether the operators are moderating these communities, the mods and admins caution people not to jump to conclusions. We're currently over the situation, and we're basically just kind of fixing it up. In my opinion, and here's a Reddit thread apparently, if you look at this. The mod, they're kind of talking about it. I don't think having text saying it's time to say goodbye and thank you for a wonderful journey with great moments sounds like an issue. That's something you say at a funeral. Here's my overall take with this, of why a lot of people are saying it's gone, it's not gone. The likelihood that these people are having a separate site set up is very high. Right? You cut off one head of the Hydra, another one grows. I'm pretty sure they're saying goodbye to HiAnime, but I think they're going to rebrand. And they're going to come back with a separate site or a separate backend that's independent from getting sourced and tracked by whatever people that nuke them down. That's why I think they're saying, listen. It is a goodbye and thank you. But at the same time, yo, chill the fuck out. Like, there's something cooking behind the scenes. So, guys, please don't fucking leak it. When it comes to these type of shit, just shh. You don't have to fucking tweet it. You don't have to fucking say it. Just shut the fuck up. Keep that in your private group chats or whatever. And by word of mouth, people will know. And I think we're going to be perfectly fine. See you next time.